All right, in this lesson, we're going to learn about the types of energy. All energy basically can be summed up as either kinetic or potential. Kinetic energy is energy that is involved with motion. There's some kind of movement that's happening that's either causing that energy or it's caused by that energy. And potential energy is energy that is stored and it's ready to be used. So some examples of kinetic energy are thermal energy, which is the particles in a substance when they move around, they cause friction between each other, and that causes heat, and that's thermal. Mechanical energy is when an object is moving, like when a truck is driving down the road, it's got a certain amount of energy. When it hits something, it's gonna transfer that energy. Electrical energy is basically electricity, the energy of the particles that are moving through a wire. So there's the electrons that are moving down that wire, and that's the electricity that happens. And since those electrons are moving, we consider it kinetic. And then magnetic energy is anytime you have a push or a pull, because when you're pushing or pulling something, it involves some type of movement. And again, potential energy is stored energy. Examples are chemical energy, the energy that's stored in chemical bonds that when they break down, it usually releases energy, especially for like food or fuel. Elastic energy is the energy stored in objects that are stretched, like a rubber band when you pull it out. It's not, or when you stretch it out, it's not going to move anywhere until you let go. But once you let go, it moves and turns into kinetic energy. Nuclear energy is the energy stored in the center of particles and the nucleus with the protons and neutrons. And we get things like the atom bomb and nuclear power plants with that. And gravitational energy, which is the energy due to an object being held above the Earth's surface. So if you hold a tennis ball above your head and you drop the tennis ball, it's going to start moving because gravity wants to accelerate it downward. We can experience that energy as either a form of sound or a form of light. And there's a couple equations to go with this for potential energy. It's P equals mgh, which is the mass times the acceleration due to gravity times the height. So when you have, say you have a bowling ball and you're holding it up at 10 meters in the air, you're going to multiply, say the bowling ball is 10 grams, 10 kilograms. No, that's a lot. Okay. Anyway, it's a really big bowling ball that's 10 kilograms. So 10 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second times 10 meters, because that's where you're holding it, is how much energy is stored in that position. But then when you drop it, it gains speed and it has a certain velocity. And you could calculate the kinetic energy that it has through its drop, which is 1/2 times the mass of the object times the velocity that it's going, squared.